the new Vauxhall Corsa. Today on Mr. M on Motors. Let's go.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Mr. M on Motors, welcome back to the channel. And today I am reviewing the new Vauxhall Corsa. This is the latest Vauxhall Corsa, the updated, totally new car. I've just driven it recently, and just by the whole feel of this, it's a totally new way of thinking, and I'm glad they've gone that direction. It starts from around 15,500 or so, ranging up to the high 26,000. So the price is a lot more than what you normally would want to pay for this sort of car, because it's a hatch, but it's one of the compact hatches. The Vauxhall Corsa has always been a compact hatch, but you know, there's a lot of things in here that do probably make that price sort of justifiable, but still, you know, it's quite a high price to pay. But there's loads and loads of discounts, and these are always putting promotions on, so I'm sure that there is that you probably won't pay that price. You'll probably pay a lot less than that. So what's powering then the new Vauxhall Corsa? Well, it starts with a 1.2 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine, and it starts with 75 brake horsepower. So that's the entry level engine, and that's mated to a 5-speed gearbox. The one we've got here though is again the 1.2 litre, but it's a turbocharged engine, and that pumps up 100 horsepower, and you can actually hear the turbo growl inside the car. So it's really cool actually. You know, while the refinery is very good, the actual engine can still be heard. This turbo, you know, when you're setting off, so that's really good. There is also a 1.5 litre diesel engine as well. Again, 100 horsepower, and enough diesel engines give you more torque, so that's really good for the long distances, or if you're going, you know, up hills and stuff like that. Recently as well though, there's also the electric version of this, and that would be very interesting to drive as well, because instant torque with those cars, and that one's reported to be about 0 to 60 in about 8 seconds. These ones here should be about 9 point something. I'm not 100% sure, because this is it's a rental car, but normally I think it's about 9. This particular one, I think it's between 9.5, I think, and 9.9, something like that. So it's not too bad, but it feels a lot quicker when you actually drive this, and then we'll be doing the test drive soon as well. So let's look at the design then of the new Vauxhall Corsa. Well, it's a bit wider and a bit longer, so it's got more of a presence now, and you know, I love this this grille design that they've added there. It really is lovely. And the lower bumper is also a little more sportier as well, you know. You just look at the headlamps, for example, you know, very crisp, and you know, they coming into the bodywork at the front there, it gives you even more width, and trying to get more of that sporty look, which I think they've really done well, especially with that, you know, keeping that line, that design line in the middle. So this is a side profile of the Vauxhall Corsa, and you know, it definitely looks longer than the predecessors, and according to Vauxhall, they say it's, you know, a bit longer to give you more room in the back, and that we will see when we do the interior part of the review. But it definitely looks a lot more sportier as well, you know, from an aesthetic and design point of view as well. You've got, you know, this nice chrome accent going around the bottom half of the windows, front and rear windows. But we start here with the wheels. I believe these are the 17-inch diamond cut black gloss design. You can get different designs, many designs. It actually starts at 16-inch, but I believe these are the bigger ones. But there's so much to choose in terms of trim and connectivity and technology. It just goes on, and you know, take me a whole day to go through it. So I definitely recommend you go onto the Vauxhall website to really have a play around with, you know, specs and what you get, and all that sort of stuff. Definitely worth a try. definitely worth a go. That's if you're interested in purchasing this vehicle. Another thing I really like about this as well is the this lovely drop-in design line just above the door handle, and it just ends up just finishing there towards the light cluster. Again, that's a really lovely design feature, and it's also there as well. The bottom part again going up though, so the lines on this car are really beautiful. And I think they've personally done a really good job. The rear windows on this particular trim are tinted as well, and you also then get the spoiler, and then also we've then got also that contrasting black roof with the mirror caps. Oh, there it is, just opened. That's the keyless entry, and now it's closing. That's brilliant. That is really good. This is the rear of the car then, and again, these little details, I know they're only just reflectors, but just give you that sporty, edge on there. Look really nice. You've got the Corsa badge and the actual logo as well. Done really well. And again, the rear windows are tinted on this particular trim. One design element I really love is the rear tail lights, because they start there, almost starting the bodywork, and they basically sweep round. It's such a lovely design that they've done for this particular model. And these are LED rear lights. In fact, actually you get LED headlights and these rear lights as standard, which is really good. Keyless entry, so you just put that in your pocket and there you go. As you get near to the car opens up. I think that's a really great piece of technology to really have. So we're inside the cabin, the driver's seat of the Vauxhall Corsa, and this is what you're greeted with. Really, really lovely design, sharpened up, really have sharpened up the design of this car, giving it a more modern look, an approach which can shut door. Oh, that feels really good. The quality of the door shutting there is so good to hear. A lot of these cars, these small cars that they were building, did lack the quality, but they've definitely upped their game in terms of that. On top of here is soft touch. This is a soft touch, sort of like a material, almost like a weave really. But that's really nice to see. There are other bits, like down here again, it's the harder plastics, but you expect that from a car like this. It's not a luxury car, it doesn't have to be, But you greeted with this lovely steering wheel. This is leather with a flat bottom. You get the flat bottom steering wheel, and you've got all your functions on there. As you can see, the cruise control. Over here you've got your telephone. You can also speak to the car. You've got your volume control. The car is now on, and that's your central 7-inch instrument cluster. That's your rev meter. You can hear that growl. It's got the turbo growl. Love that. And very clear, easy information to read. So they've done a really good job with that. Obviously, this particular one comes because of this actual trim. So you do have to look, what you're choosing to decide what kit you actually want. So again, go onto Vauxhall's website and have a play around with the configurator. Now over here we have this glorious 10-inch, I believe, central multimedia screen. At the moment it's showing us the map, because this particular trim comes with the navigation. So over there you've got your audio, your nav, your phone, you've got all the various information. That one there, for example, brings up all the details, the driver functions. It's got also the things to do with the vehicle, like the headlights, the comfort, the safety. This is also touchscreen, as you as you saw there, me touching. It's all governed either by controls or by that, so really good. And again, these are all the knobs switching. Too bad, maybe quality wise could be a little bit better there, turning that knob. So over here you've got also your seat heating, passenger and driver, 3 levels. Comes with this trim though, obviously, you know, you have to pay for this, unfortunately. But again, it's something that, you know, normally you get on the really expensive cars, but you know, you're getting it in a Vauxhall Corsa, which is really good. Something I do want to show you though is when you do press that speech button, what happens.
To begin, say a command after the tone.
Increase temperature.
Temperature changed.
There you go. So it's increase the temperature, and if I was to do it again.
To begin, say a command after the tone.
Decrease temperature.
Temperature changed.
Now that's obviously quite, you know, a basic command. There's a lot more that you can do. There's definitely a lot more you can do, but I haven't got time to go through everything. But again, just another great addition that, you know, we're connecting now with cars where you can talk to them. I know that, you know, the premium manufacturers, they have some big things going on with what you can do as well. Especially, you know, now you can do everything by talking to the car. But I just thought I'd show you that quick function. Something else I want to show you also is the reversing rear camera, as you can see there. Now it's not the, you know, sharpest in terms of image quality. The resolution could be a lot better, but you know, it does what it's got to do. You know, you can see where you're going, and you know, it's clear, it's bright enough, and I think it does a really good job of allowing you, you know, to see what's going on behind you. Again, this is all part of this particular trim. You don't get it with all of it, you know. Some of them you get just the acoustic beeping sound, but this is one of the top trims, and you get that. Also, I like the image of the car as you're, you know, going back. It shows you the actual bird's eye view. It's a shame that it doesn't show you, you know, the whole picture. It's only showing you as you do it, as you reverse. That's the image you're getting. So as you go back, that starts to pick up what's around you. But you know, it's good. There's also, you know, different views as well. For example, you can do 180. Sorry, it's a 180 view, and that also shows you then, you know, what's going on the 180 rear view. There's also a zoom view as well, like that, with Justin. There's also then the auto, but the standard one's probably good. There you go. I thought I'd show you that as well as another feature that this the trim has here. We're now going to jump into the rear of the car and see what that looks like. Vauxhall say that the car is wider and longer, so that should give us more room in the back. Bearing in mind, I'm not the tallest person, 5'7" or so that's my driving position. So we're going to see if you was to sit behind me what that looks like. But bearing in mind, you know, it is a small hatchback in terms of, you know, the class it's in. But let's have a look. The car's open because I've just got near it. Getting that keyless entry. And open up the door. Inside, and again, we've got that, you know, leatherette effect on the seats, and then the fabric in the middle. Just giving you a front view of the driver there. That's the space we've got for the feet, so I'm going to climb in. Make sure I tap my shoes. I think there is, you know, sufficient room. I mean, for me, for example, like I say, I'm 5'7", and you know, I've got plenty of knee room. Again, this is the seat in my position as I'd be driving. If I give you that position, that view there, it's always good to get perspective from the back. And it doesn't feel too bad. It's nice and cozy. I mean, in terms of, you know, room, you can fit 3 people, but it might be a bit of a squeeze depending on how big the people are. But I think it is doable. And, you know, this is a nice bright liner, so it doesn't feel too claustrophobic. The windows, you know, are pretty good. They're not too small, not too, you know, coupe designed that, you know, you feel like you're closed in. So all in all, I think it's not too bad. I mean, obviously you will have to negotiate with the driver or the passenger, because as you can see, there's no room at all. But see, that's the furthest back that I've got this chair. But, you know, other than that, yeah, negotiate with the driver, get a compromise a bit. But I think it's doable, definitely doable. So, yeah, I think in terms of, you know, room that you get, definitely get more. You know, even the seat space is not too bad. It's just, I think, you know, carrying 3 people is always going to be a mission in whatever car really you get these days. Unless you get a massive, massive car. So now we're going to have a look at the boot then of the new Vauxhall Corsa. And this boot promises, you know, to be quite spacious, because it's, you know, 309 litres, I believe, or so, something in that range. And as you can see there, you can fit 2 small luggage pieces. This is a laptop case, it's a 15-inch laptop case, just to give you a perspective of what's in there. Put it that way as well. You know, again, you got, you know, pretty decent room. And even if you know, put that upright, for example, the height as well is not too bad. Again, this is a compact car, a small compact car, so there is a limitation of how much stuff you can bring in here or carry in here. But I think for the average person, you know, that's using this car, I think that's quite adequate enough and quite versatile, because it's like a square opening. So it's, you know, it's evenly proportioned, you know, and as you can see the opening, there's nothing that's design wise restricting, you know, if you had to bring something big or bulky or longer in there. And the load lip as well is not too high. It's not too high from a road point of view. It does drop down, but it's not too bad. Maybe the bumper maybe sticks out just a little bit, but that's again just a design element of what they've done. But, you know, in terms of actually using it, I think it'd be fine. In terms of carrying longer pieces, you know, if you were to go to your furniture shop and buy some new furniture, well, you can actually fit them in here, because it's quite a decent size going back to the seats there, so it's not too bad. You get a 60-40 split as well with the seats, which is good, and therefore, you know, you can then use the car in different scenarios. You know, if you were to have a long piece but you didn't want to use, you know, you didn't want to fold down all the seats, that's great. Or you wanted to carry someone else with you, you know, third person or so. So I think that's really well done. Hello everyone, and welcome to the driving part then of the Vauxhall Corsa. This particular Vauxhall Corsa, the 1.2 litre turbocharged though, 100 horsepower spec. And I have to say, in the beginning I was hearing this growl and I was thinking, have I got the right one here, you know, or have I got the other one, the 75 horsepower one? And after driving this for a little bit, you know, I can actually say this is the one that you probably do want to go for. It's got a lot more punch, and, you know, whenever you put a turbo in anything, you get that kick, right? So it's got that lovely sound to it, you know, when you accelerate off, and it's quite nippy actually. It's quite nippy. And we're off now, and it's, you know, it does go through the gears nice as well. And we're just going to go into the residential neighbourhood, and we're going to see what it's like at reasonable speed, handling, comfort, all that sort of stuff. So first impression of getting inside a Vauxhall Corsa. After many years, I drove a Mark II when I was learning to drive. what an advancement they've made in terms of quality, in terms of the drive, in terms of the kit, you know, and overall appeal. This lovely screen in the middle here, for example, the 7-inch screen, you know, it's clear, it's legible, and it's giving you the information you need. Just testing the brakes now, for example, really sharp, really sharp. Whether or not that's because it's a new car and that, I don't know, but anyway, it's you know, the stopping power is good, and you know, I think you probably, well, you need that with anything turbo in it. Again, as it sets off, a lovely growl, and it's got some real go in this, I tell you. The steering is really light, so if you're driving this car thinking, you know, I've got a weighted steering, it's not actually that weighted. It's very light, it's very nimble. You can throw this around corners, this car, and it will just go round them like as if nothing was there. Really, really light. And that's not to everyone's, you know, appeal, or, you know, some people do like a more weighted steering. But for a town car, which this is, it's I think it's fine. I think it's, you know, adequate enough. One thing I do like is, you know, the clutch feel when I'm shifting these gears. Whoa, that's gone. You have to be careful with this car, especially with this turbocharged. Although it's a 1.2 litre turbocharged, 100 horsepower. You know, it's not bad. It's a small car, and it does what it does, it goes. So just be careful with that. You can easily get to those dangerous speeds with this. The seats are very comfortable as well. You know, this choice, I think, of cloth and leatherette brings the, you know, premium feel to the car, but also, you know, nice and comfortable. And this particular trim has got the heated seats, which is even better. In terms of visibility, it's not too bad. Not too bad. It's, you know, definitely looks a sportier. You know, it feels sportier because of the shape that they have sort of made them a bit more coupe-ish, or should we silhouette, the actual design of the windows. But the actual visibility is not too bad. Okay, maybe the rear, you know, the rear windows are a bit small, but then a lot of these cars now, they manufacture them like that. But, you know, out of all the corners, it's not too bad actually. The side mirrors are also big, and you get some good visibility out of them as well. Going on to the infotainment screen, well, it's a nice big screen. Again, it's, you know, you can do a lot with this screen. And it's in a good position. It's not low, it's not too high. It's positioned well. Steering wheel feels good, even though this is plastic thing over it because of the COVID, but the actual feel of the leather on this steering wheel is very good. There's a premiumness about this car that I think they needed to do, and to some level they've definitely achieved that, I think, anyway. The quality of the, you know, what you're touching, like the gear knob, and the quality of the seats and the feel of the seats is definitely up there. Definitely. Whatever they've done here, they've balanced out this, you know, given it a sporty character with the you know, the added benefit of having a comfortable ride, which is what you need. You need that. Even though it's a small car, you know, it's got reasonable sized boot. You can fit most people in the back as well, so it's very practical in its way. But it's got to be comfortable. You know, over these bumps, for example, these suburban roads, the bumps, you know, get some of them which really go through the chassis, but this is actually holding really well. The chassis is holding really, really well. So, you know, in terms of build quality, in terms of, you know, character and space as well, because it's wider and longer, so they've done a really good job. I mean, okay, there is a bit of tyre roar there. You know, you do get the tyre roar there, but you know, unless you're going for one of these cars which have the acoustic soundproofing and you know they're really expensive cars, then you know most people can live with it. So I'm driving in on these suburban roads, and at the moment it's returning about 32.8 miles per gallon, which is not bad. You know, if you're potting around town or that sort of stuff, that's actually not bad mileage to be getting. And that's the good thing about this, is that, you know, the economy on this car just keeps going. Even though it's a turbo, it's a 1.2 turbo, but if you drive it, you know, if you drive it conservatively, you will get some good mileage from this car. Bearing in mind, there is the 1.5 litre diesel as well, and that will obviously give you the, you know, the torque that comes with a diesel. So it depends what you want, really, you know, from that. And then recently, as we move on to the electrification of cars, as you know, we're going into that electrification quite quick as well. They have got the electric version, you know, where you plug in and you charge. And again, because those cars have got instant torque, again, they're very fun, and they also give you pretty much the same driving experience. I'm not sure about the boot though, because obviously with batteries and stuff, whether or not that hinders the boot space. But you know, hopefully if I can get one of them, then I'll be letting you guys know. So we're now going to go onto some faster roads. We're going to see what the car's got in terms of, you know, speed. 0 to 60, yeah, it's in around sort of the 9 to high 9 seconds. So it's not terribly fast. You know, it's not a supercar, but you know, for a 1.2 litre turbo, it's adequate. Let's go. Whoa. That's impressive. That is really impressive. This particular model has a 6-speed gearbox, so you know, again, you get some good mileage from this on the motorway. But this is the 6-speed manual gearbox. You can get them in autos as well. But at the moment, it's such a delight to use. The gearbox is, you know, just so slick. The gears go in smooth. It's a real joy to use, and the clutch is soft as well. Brakes are good. I know this is a new car, but they've done a tremendous amount of improvements, I feel anyway, over the predecessors. One advantage as well is, you know, the size isn't too bad. It's not a big car, so you can get in and out of, like, you know, traffic and tight spots. The light steering, the aided, you know, systems will definitely help you make this car effortless to drive. So the overall package, I think, is very good here. You've got yourself a comfortable car, some, you know, great handling, and the ride is also livable, because, you know, you don't want to have a car with great handling, but then every pothole you get, you know, you feel it through your spine. The gear shift on the manual version here is so nice. The gears go in smooth, clutch is nice to use. The quality and the feel of the car is very good. The technology is also there with it, you know, heated seats and, you know, all this lane keep assist and all that. You know, it's got all the bells and whistles, again depending on the trim. So, you know, definitely go and have a look at that configurator on the Vauxhall website, familiar yourself with, you know, the trim levels and, you know, the prices that those come with as well. Like I said, the only thing is, again, you know, a lot of these cars, the prices aren't going quite high for what you're getting, but there's many deals to be had out there. So you know, don't rush into it. The first thing, never ever rush into it. Just take your time when you're looking for a car. This is definitely a contender with other cars in its class, so definitely think about this new Vauxhall Corsa, if that's the market that you're in for these small compact hatchbacks. Obviously you've got to drive the car, you've got to get the feel of this, you know, are the seats okay for you, is the driving position okay for you, is it what you need, you know, in terms of size and what you're using it for. So lots of questions to ask yourself, but I hope this review has helped you out as much as I've loved doing it and driving this particular car. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, turn on your notifications, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That'd be great. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope that this video has given you some value in terms of, you know, what the new Vauxhall Corsa is like from an exterior, an interior, and a driving experience perspective, my perspective again. And, you know, I tried to put these videos out just to, you know, show you the best I can of what the car's got and what it's like. Again, you know, I do recommend you always test driving and taking your time when making any decision on buying a car. So thank you very much again, and I'll see you all in the next Mr. M on Motors video.